problem like that, and you're probably gonna need arthroscopic surgeries. Do I not show coffee enough on this channel? Maybe I should literally call this channel Coffee Talks, because I talk and I drink a lot of coffee. But that food that I had last night, which was probably not last night for y'all, or the morning, the seafood dish, oh, it was so good. It actually, surprisingly, I had good sleep, but I did wake up very dehydrated, but it allowed good sleep to happen still. And I am like high on energy today. Like, I am bouncing off the walls, literally. I'm like on this wall and then that wall. I'm like everywhere. I feel so energized, and I haven't had a coffee sip yet. This is not even, I haven't even had a coffee sip. I don't even know like what I'm saying. I'm just bouncing off the walls here. I'm so energized. I think it's from all that pasta. Ooh. But a week and a half later goes by, and MRI is today. But obviously, much longer for y'all because I post 4 days. It is Wednesday, October 6th, and the MRI is today. So, we'll find out some good news pretty soon. But we gotta get started on our list of things to do. Because we're still injured, we still can't run, but we can still manage priorities. What are we gonna do? What are we going to do? Ooh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our first sip of coffee. Nothing beats a Splenda packet. Splenda is the best. Like, it's just so good. I do love stevia though, like just pure raw stevia. Ooh, that is so delicious. Yeah, we need to stop talking. I mean, coffee talks, because we need to get started because we gotta leave at 7:45. It's 7 o'clock. I've just been fooling with the tripod all morning. So, yeah, we have to get started with our stuff. And I'll probably see y'all at the MRI in the car. And I'm about to go get the MRI done with contrast.
Sponsored by Biotin. Brought to you by
He's going to numb down into your hip joint. Your skin's going to be frozen, so you're not going to be able to feel the needle stick. Once we're inside the joint space, we're going to start filling it up with the dye.
Okay.
You shouldn't feel much of any pain at all because you're going to be numb, but you may feel like a heaviness or pressure of just something extra beating in your hip. Once we're done, I'll bring y'all back up front and check out the MRI. So, as far as post-injection, there's no physical restrictions. You can go about your business normally. You don't have to withhold doing any movement. Nothing's going to mess anything up.
Okay.
The dye is going to be filtered through the kidneys out the bladder. You're just going to pee it out.
Okay.
The hips going to go back to feeling normal in about 3 hours.
Okay.
As far as the MRI scan goes, I know you said you've had one before. Just hold it still. Once we're done, y'all are good to go.
Okay.
No, like I said, restrictions as far as activity. The only thing we say is anytime we stick a needle in the skin, tiny risk of infection.
Right.
Just keep an eye on it.
Right.
Don't soak it under water for the first 24 hours.
All right.
Do y'all have any questions before we get started?
Have any questions? No? You ready? He's been in pain since January, so
Kind of a lot to take in, huh?
he's ready though.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot worse than it is. You won't be in here for more than 10 minutes.
Really
It sounds way worse than it is. I promise. It looks and sounds worse than it is, but the first thing people say when we're done is, that's it? I'm gonna go grab the
finished the MRI, and it's been a while, and I'm finally happy to say that we will figure out the news pretty soon in the next few days or so. And I'm happy to say that I will be able to run, maybe. Fingers crossed I will be able to run.
That could have been your French toast.
Yeah, but it was frozen. Little French toast talk. Yeah, but anyways, the doctor told me that we originally did an MRI with contrast because the doctor told me that a normal MRI will only show like 66% of the hip due to all the stuff in the human body keeping me alive. You know, there's a bunch of junk in my hip, that muscular system, joint system, all that to keep me alive. And so what the MRI with contrast will do, will bring up the 66% all the way up to a 99% chance, coloring all the hip joints, the hip bones, the muscular tissue around it, and really see if there is a labral tear in there. Because she asked me, do you have hip groin pain? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, that's a major sign that you have a labral tear. And I was like, yeah. I've been looking up stuff on Dr. Google here to help explain why I was experiencing this pain and why I was experiencing it in these specific areas. And so Google told me, yeah, you probably have a hip labral tear or a hip impingement, some sort of problem like that, and you're probably gonna need arthroscopic surgery, something like that. So when they injected me, they used this big needle. They were prepping it, and I was like, man, that's a big needle. And it wasn't the actual needle, but she told me it was like it's a very wide needle, and I'm gonna feel some tenderness and all that. But the pain of the shot, it was painful for sure, and definitely tender and sharp, and I can definitely feel some tension. And there was definitely pressure there and here and there. And before the pressure would happen, he's like, there's gonna be a little pressure here, there's gonna be a tender. So I knew when it was gonna, there was gonna be pain, tenderness, and pressure applied in that area. And we took breaks here and there just to let my hip relax a little bit, because it did hurt, and I had to tilt my hip inwards like that way to really get the hip shown. And when I did tilt my hip inwards, ooh, that hurt the groin so bad, and the glute. And the injection took like overall 10 minutes or so, not that long, and not too painful overall, not like they described it. And after the injection, I had to wait like a minute or so just to make sure I wasn't feeling dizzy or lightheaded. And the pressure and tenderness I did feel during the shot continued for the next 3 hours or so after the shot, but it overall is not that painful. I mean, I can still feel the injection site of the pain, and it does hurt a little, but overall it's not too bad. And then after the hip like when I got off the table, my hip was pretty puffy. It was like all swollen like a balloon, which is normal. And when I was walking, I was like, man, am I carrying an extra weight around? Like I was like limping with every step, because this hip was so much heavier than this hip. And it was all puffy, and it was just weird feeling. It's like I had an ankle weight, but not on my ankle, it was on my hip. Then we waited for about 30 minutes, maybe 20-30 minutes or so after. And we waited to let the dye just sit in there and for our MRI to be ready. And then I sat in the MRI with the knocking sounds and all that for 25 minutes or so. And then we'll have the results in the next few days with the phone call. Depending on the results, we'll go visit the doctor again and then determine the next steps, if it's surgical, if it is medical, like medicine, or just rest. But the weird thing is, my doctor was telling, like before the injection, he was telling me about our neighborhood. When he was growing up, the neighborhood I'm living in, the house I'm living in right now, was not even here. It was not even out. It's weird to think that it was a forest. A literal forest, just a bunch of trees, and the neighborhood grocery store I go to was not even a thing either. It was just a bunch of trees, and that's just crazy to me, because now I don't have to run the forest anymore. I never had to. I run the roads here. Well, I used to run the roads here, not run the roads anymore since I've been injured for 83 days or so. But I run the roads here, and that's weird to think there's a bunch of trees that were in the way of running. But let's get you the comment of the day, and the comment of the day goes to Evan Mengolis. Thanks for reading my comment of the day. You're at 146 followers. Can't believe that first found you when you were just starting. Can't believe it either. 146, a year later or so, we're keep on building up the family. We're slowly growing the family. And thank you for whoever's been at the start. I know Evan Magolius, you have been supporting me for a while, and I thank you. And I thank you to all my followers out there. Anyways, if you want to help support the channel, you can support me out on Patreon. Anyways, I'm going to put a video up right here. And make sure you seek happiness, achieve goals, and find glory. I will see you in the next one.